Welcome, traveler. You awaken in the quiet of early morning beneath the stone arch of your modest chamber. A soft breeze lifts the linen curtain at your door, carrying the briny breath of the sea and the first pink brush of sunlight. Beyond the sandstone walls of Alexandria, the harbor stirs, oars clinking, gulls circling, traders beginning their day's slow rhythm. But you are not a trader, nor a sailor. You are something else, something rarer, quieter. You are a librarian at the great Library of Alexandria. You rise slowly, your feet brushing against cool tiled floor. You pour a little water from a clay jug and wash your face in the bowl beside your cot, savoring the ritual. The water is scented faintly with bay leaves and thyme. Already you begin to feel the pull, soft, insistent, toward the library, toward the place that waits for you each day like a living mind, endless and patient. You dress simply, a long white tunic cinched with a woolen belt, your seal of entry, a bronze brooch clipped to your shoulder. Before you leave, you unroll the scroll beside your bed, a bit of Herodotus copied in a student's hand. You reread a familiar line, tracing the careful ink with your finger. It's like touching an old friend. The streets are waking as you walk. Alexandria, city of wonders, built by command of Alexander, now ruled in the name of Ptolemy. Marble statues shine faintly in the dawn, and vendors yawn beside crates of figs and clay jugs of wine. But you pass them quietly, always turning toward the library, the great sanctuary of scrolls, where words sleep until stirred awake. The outer colonnade greets you first. Tall, fluted columns in sun-washed limestone. Ivy curls upward like lazy script, trailing toward the carved entablature above. The main doors are open already. The others have arrived, fellow librarians, scribes, philosophers, students. Some nod in greeting, no one speaks loudly. This is a temple of silence. You step inside and breathe it in. The smell of papyrus and ink, of dust and parchment and cedar oil. It is the scent of memory, of centuries pressed into fibers and lines. The main hall stretches before you, impossibly vast. Rows of columns line the central nave, leading the eye toward vaulted ceilings and high arched windows that pour in morning light. Alcoves bloom from every corridor, reading rooms, scriptoriums, cataloging spaces, and everywhere, scrolls, tens of thousands. Some say hundreds. No one knows for certain. The count changes with each new ship that docks, each scroll copied, each gift from kings or scholars. You head first to the intake room. This is your morning duty. Ships arriving in Alexandria are searched for scrolls, works from Greece, India, Egypt, Carthage, Persia. If found, they are brought here, copied swiftly. The originals stored, the copies returned when possible. This is the law of the Ptolemies. Today, a crate from Cyprus waits atop the central desk. You lift the lid gently. Inside, 3 scrolls bound in red leather cord. The script is Greek, the hand unfamiliar. You set them aside to be catalogued. Their titles will be entered, their authors traced if known. Later, the scribes will sit beneath the oil lamps and begin the slow act of duplication. As you work, others pass through. A student from Rhodes bows respectfully. An older philosopher mutters under his breath as he rifles through a shelf of scrolls on astronomy. You smile faintly. Some minds never rest. By mid-morning, your duties shift. You leave the intake room and enter the West Wing, a quieter space, favored by scholars and poets. Here, you take your place at the reference table. Visitors come with questions, and you help guide them. Where to find Callimachus's catalog? Where to locate the lost tragedies of Euripides? You know these halls like veins in your hand. A girl approaches, no more than 12, eyes wide with the kind of hunger only knowledge stirs. Her father sends her to study medicine. She wants to find scrolls on healing herbs. You rise and lead her through the corridor, past niches lined with curled papyrus, until you find the one she seeks. Dioscorides. She thanks you in Greek, but with a touch of another tongue. Perhaps Phoenician. You nod gently. The world meets here. As noon nears, you step outside into the courtyard. A fig tree leans over a carved stone bench. You sit in its dappled shade and eat simply: flat bread, a wedge of cheese, dried dates. The hum of voices drifts from open windows. Wind stirs the leaves like turning pages. You let your thoughts wander. To the scrolls you've read, to those you've yet to touch, to the poets who lived and died long before you, and yet speak still. You are a keeper of voices, a caretaker of thought. What others speak into the air, you preserve upon the page. When the sun begins its descent, you return inside. You assist with shelving, careful not to disturb the older texts. Some are fragile, their fibers softened with age. Others are wrapped in linen, marked with wax seals. You handle them all as if handling breath itself. The day fades. Lamps are lit. Oil flames flicker along the colonnades. A hush deeper than silence fills the library now, like a held breath, like the moment before a dream. You return to your desk. A scroll waits, one you have not yet read. You open it gently, lay it flat, and begin to read. The ink is fine, the script elegant. A treatise on the nature of stars. You lose yourself in it, words wrapping around you like the folds of a soft cloak. And as you read, the world outside grows dim. The sea hushes to a whisper. Alexandria falls into slumber. You close your eyes, scroll still in hand, the scent of ink and old paper all around you. Here, in this library, you are at peace. Morning arrives in whispers. You wake beneath the same linen curtain, stirred by the salt-laced breeze and the quiet warmth of sunlight across your floor. Alexandria stirs beyond your doorway. Soft, slow, familiar. You rise with the hush of a practiced ritual. Your tunic is simple, your thoughts already drifting toward the library. There is comfort in its predictability, in the way its walls contain the breath of centuries. The streets are warm with scent, fresh bread, seawater, pressed herbs. You pass beneath ancient obelisks, monuments older than the city itself. At the base of one, you pause as always, hand grazing the stone. It feels like touching time. The library's great doors stand open, and the porter greets you with a silent nod. Inside, the air shifts. Cooler, still. The world narrows to the texture of scrolls and the faint crackle of papyrus. Your morning begins in the scriptorium, where scribes sit beneath narrow windows, their quills whispering across parchment. You're not writing today, you're reviewing. A fresh copy of the Elements lies before you. The ink is steady, the diagrams clean. You spot a repeated phrase, mark it gently, and nod to the scribe. He bows, wordless and content. A visiting scholar from Pergamon arrives by mid-morning, offering 3 scrolls wrapped in linen. You welcome him with fig cake and cool water. His Greek is careful, his manners quieter still. He leaves the scrolls in your care. You carry them to the eastern wing, where texts in foreign tongues are studied. Asteria, fluent in Syriac, will translate them. Her fingers move lightly, reverently. You watch for a moment. This is her sacred craft, just as yours is yours. In the cataloging chamber, you enter a new scroll into the index. Title, On the Flow of the Nile. Origin, Thebes. Author, attributed to Berenice. Subject, Natural Sciences. A short record, but a permanent one. A voice, preserved. You take your rest in the courtyard. Laurel hedges rustle in the wind, and the fountain sings softly. You sit in its shade, eating barley cakes and honeyed figs. 2 doves land nearby. The mosaic beneath them shows Poseidon, though you imagine Thoth instead, quieter, more fitting. Later, you join the preservation room. The scrolls here are fragile, brittle from age or travel. You clean, oil, and wrap them in fresh linen. One contains sayings of Pythagoras, its ink faded like a dream. You treat it with care, coaxing its voice back to strength. As the sun fades, the library softens. Lamps are lit. Shadows stretch across the marble. Scribes gather their tools. Students whisper goodbyes. Still, you remain a while longer. You visit the West Wing. Touch a scroll you know by heart. Letters of Epicurus. You don't open it. Just rest your hand on its spine, as one might greet an old friend. Before you leave, you find a boy asleep in the reading hall. Aesop's fables lie open on his chest. You close the scroll, set it beside him, and adjust his robe against the coming chill. Outside, the city dims. Lamps glow in windows. The sea hums. You walk home slowly, words still warm in your thoughts, your heart filled with the hush of the day behind you.